I feel like this is the third video I've made in literally less than a month talking about Tatsuki Fujimoto, but I cannot help it. Everything that man touches turns to absolute gold. You guys have been loving the videos, so I'm gonna talk to you all right now about Tatsuki Fujimoto's new Amazon Prime show, 1726. It was absolute cinema, absolute gold. I loved it so much, and I cannot wait to talk about it and share it with you all. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below if you guys have seen the shorts. Which was your favorite? I definitely want to hear because I have a lot of thoughts and I cannot wait to share my favorite ones with you here in a moment. But for those of y'all who do not know, Tatsuki Fujimoto, again, he's the author of Chainsaw Man, a little anime you might have heard of. It's kind of underground, kind of niche. No, it's insane. It's the biggest thing right now. The movie just came out last month. The Reze arc, it was absolutely fantastic. If you guys want to go check it out, I made a video on it. It was amazing. He's also made stuff like Fire Punch. He's made other short stories like Look Back, Goodbye Eri. A lot of fire stuff. But yeah, so basically 1726 is his latest adaptation. It's basically a lot of short stories that he made before Chainsaw Man. They're around roughly, the manga, I think, of each of them is like, they're like 30 pages or so they're pretty short stories. And they're all very unique and a lot of fun. And if you are a fan of anthology series, then I highly recommend you check this out. A lot of my friends I've recommended this to who aren't even big fans of anime absolutely loved this series. And I cannot wait to talk about it and share it with you all. Because this series was absolutely fantastic. So it is 8 episode long. It's 8 episodes, I believe. Yeah, it's 8 episodes with 8 stories. Each episode is only around 14 minutes, 14, 15. Oh, no, I lied. They're actually a bit, they vary. Some of them are like, 19, 14, 13 minutes. So yeah, it's a good variety. They're around, that 20-minute range. They're really awesome. They're great stories, each with unique, very interesting themes running from aliens and chickens to a guy turning into a girl, mermaids, a whole lot of weird stuff. There's one about Nayuta from Chainsaw Man. Oh my gosh, it's insane. But yeah, I cannot wait to share with you all and talk to you all about them today. But like I said, they're short stories, and a lot of these short stories, I think pretty much all of them, besides Nayuta, are, for the most part, most of them came out before Chainsaw Man. And so these are a lot of, Tatsuki Fujimoto's earliest works, and it's so awesome and unique and interesting to see his progression and how his mind thinks. I mean, this guy is, I would love to like have a conversation with this guy because I mean, just the themes that he thinks through these bizarre scenarios are just so cool. So I'm going to talk to you all about each of them right now, give you all a little rough summary of each of them. So yeah, but again, spoilers ahead for the short stories. I won't really try and spoil too much of it, but in case I do, go watch the show for yourself. It's only 8 episodes, like I said, each around, an average of 15 minutes or so. So go watch it. Really amazing. But before I get into the spoiler stuff, I do want to just give a broad thing. Like I said, the animation, fantastic. I don't know who animated this. I don't know what studio it was, but oh, six studios. Oh, wait, no, six studios. Oh, so it was all different studios. Seven directors adapt the early works of Tatsuki Fujimoto, the mastermind behind Chainsaw Man, into an anime anthology. Each episode is an anime adaptation of a short story he drew from ages 17 to 26, hence the name 1726, including the first manga he ever submitted for competition. So yeah, I mean, this, like I said, this is his early stuff, and it's is really good. I mean, I'm just gonna get into it with you all. That's enough dilly dallying around the issues. I want to talk to you all about these stories. The first one, a couple clucking chickens were still kicking in the schoolyard. This is about an alien invasion, and the human race is going extinct, and the follows a story of these two boys who disguise themselves as chickens to blend in and hide amongst the aliens. It's a classic Among Us scenario, if you will. But no, it's a great story. The plot twist is really good. It's a good starter to it. I mean, I had personally I have only read the first four of these out of the eight, so I was going into it somewhat blind. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved them. I mean, it's such a good story about how he deals with such mundane everyday life themes and is able to change them and turn them into this chaotic, bizarre scenarios that still tell very real human stories. It's so amazing and beautiful, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, the ending of this story, this first story, the chickens, was so beautiful, and it just makes me so emotional and just so happy at the same time to see someone introduce this into manga and anime. I mean, so often, at least for me, I get caught up in the mainstream shonen stuff, which isn't bad. Obviously, stuff like My Hero, Attack on Titan, they have, Attack on Titan, for example. I guess that's not technically a shonen, really, but it has these greater themes and elements that kind of make you, they're very thought provoking, right? And I mean, that's something that you kind of don't get too often in these big shonen stories, and that's something that Chainsaw Man I think does really well, and I think that's why it gets such a big appeal to it. And that's something that is fully on display here in these short stories, especially in this first one. And I think that sets the tone really well for the rest of these episodes and anthology episodes, because yeah, I mean, what starts off as a very simple like alien Among Us scenario turns into this big plot twist where you're getting these themes of brotherhood in a way that's deeper than you would really anticipate from the very beginning. So absolutely loved it. Great first episode. The plot twist is really, really good. I absolutely loved it. Now the second episode though in this anthology series, Sasuke stopped a bullet, or Sasaki. I'm so sorry. I said Sasuke. I was literally talking about Naruto with my friend earlier today, so it's that's whatever. But Sasaki stopped a bullet. Now I'm not gonna lie. I think this one is absolutely my favorite one in the series. I don't know if that's a hot take. It might be. But yeah, this was definitely my favorite one in the series. I think for a multitude of reasons. For one, as somebody who's a big film lover, this really reminded me a lot of the movie Nope by Jordan Peele. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that. He's the guy who made Get Out and Us, the two other horror thriller movies, if you will. They're very good. But so the plot of this one is that the student Sasaki, he's a high school student, has a crush on his teacher. She's a younger teacher who's very attractive, and he's into her, and he has a big crush on her. And then all of a sudden, this man gets into the campus and has a gun. So, he has a gun, and he said that he was in the same school as Sasaki when they were younger, and I think he had a crush on her along those lines. I forget what happens exactly, but he's very upset at her now, and it was going to, unalive her, basically. I don't know if we could say the actual word on YouTube, but yeah, so he's come to the school for that purpose, to unalive her. And pretty much Sasaki gets in the middle of it, and spoilers ahead again, and he basically steps in front of her, and he puts his hand out and says that he's going to, or tells the guy to stop, and then the man pulls the trigger and tries to shoot him, and then the bullet just doesn't do anything. And so this was such a crazy and surreal moment, that because whenever if you point a gun at somebody and you pull the trigger, it's gonna hit them, and it didn't, because and it really delves into this theme of like a miracle happening, and that's something that is really prevalent within the movie Nope. That's why I'm comparing it to it, with this notion of, in that movie, I guess there's bad miracles, but then we get this beautiful, beautiful, I guess what's the word, like flashback with Sasaki talking to the professor, the teacher, and that's when it's the moment he first fell in love with her, and it's when we get this beautiful, beautiful backstory between Sasaki and her, where he explains that his father passed away and he wants to go see his father on the moon, and he says that she believes that it's not impossible, but that it's not 100% impossible. There is a 0.00001% chance that it could be real. It could be possible, that there's no such thing as impossible. And I really like that message. I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful message, that to always follow your dreams, that nothing is ever impossible. And I really liked it. I really liked the message, man. And then the ending is so beautiful. He's there on the moon. It's such a good story, man. I love the message. It's so beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for these. And I absolutely loved it, man. I love that idea of nothing's impossible and to follow your dreams. And that's exactly what he does. And I won't spoil the ending for you, but the big reveal at the end is really, really cool. I think it's such a cherry on top. I I really love this story, man. Yeah, it just makes me smile every time I think about it. Definitely was one of my favorites. So yeah. Now the next one here, Love is Blind, I think is probably my least favorite of them. And I'm not to say that any of them are bad, but this one was pretty, it was pretty out there. It's pretty much just a guy who's trying to confess. This one's more of a comedy one. He's trying to confess his love to a girl, and things just start getting in the way, and pretty much he ends up, saying that he's nothing is going to get in his way, and there's pretty much just these bizarre scenarios that keep getting in his way until he confesses his love to this girl. It's just really funny. It's more of a simple one. It's more of a comedic one, but yeah, he confesses his love to her in the end, and it works out. It's a very short, simple story, very unique, very comedic. It was funny. I really thought it was funny, actually. The scenarios that start building up are very silly, and it's very funny. But yeah, not too much to think about here. The next one is pretty cool. This one's called Shikaku, and this one is about a girl who is an assassin. She, ever since she was a kid, she's obsessed with. This one's also kind of comedic. She's been obsessed with, hurting people and violence, and that's really her thing. And so eventually, she grows up to become an assassin, and eventually, she gets a call from this very rich, attractive man to come and kill, unalive himself. Sorry, I said the word. I said the thing. But yeah, to the man assigns her. He says, "Your mission is to unalive me," and she's like, "I bet." And she tries to do it, and she fails because it turns out this guy's a vampire who wants to unalive himself because he is just sick of the world. He's sick of living. He's bored. He's been alive for 3,500 plus years. So he's ready to end it all. He's ready to just get out of here, get out of town. And she can't kill him. And so she becomes very upset, and they get into this, debacle. And it turns out that, he ends up, or she ends up falling in love with him. So a lot of these are love stories. I think Tatsuki Fujimoto has a thing for love stories. So yeah, and so then basically she ends up falling in love with him, and she's definitely not in the right state of mind. Definitely very mental. It's very funny to see how you can see how these themes continue on into Chainsaw Man. This girl really reminded me of Power in a way, and Reze. So yeah, she ends up becoming super crazy, and she goes to him and is like, "Hey, I think my heart's like acting really weird since I've met you." And he's like, "Well, you need to go to a hospital because you're gonna die." And she's like, "Okay." And then she goes to the hospital, and then it just gets really bizarre and crazy again. And she's like, "I know why my heart's pounding. It's because I'm in love with you." He confesses, or she confesses, and then the vampire ends up being amused by her at how crazy she is, and they end up getting together. They end up falling in love, and it's very sweet. It was a very silly story again, one of the two more lighthearted ones. So that was fun. Next one we have, now these next four are ones that I had not read, so I went into them completely blind, but they're really good. The first one we have is Mermaid Rhapsody, which I really loved. This is the longest one, I believe 23 minutes, so yeah, it was the longest story, but it was really good. I really liked it. It's about a boy who his mother was a mermaid, and she ended up, dying when he was younger, and so he wants to go and be connected with her, and so he has these abilities to hold his breath underwater for a lot longer because he's half mermaid, I guess. And so he goes underwater and plays his piano, and he runs into a mermaid, but there's this huge societal tension towards mermaids and humans, where mermaids kill humans and humans kill mermaids, so they don't really mix. And so it's basically your traditional story, Romeo and Juliet. They're from two different worlds. They fall in love, and then they start meeting, but then he ends up bleeding in the ocean at one point, and then her mermaid instincts come out and she attacks him. So there's this tension. It's really just your classic who done it story. But I want to say, in this episode specifically, the piano, the animation especially, was so good. It was so good. It was beautiful. I really really enjoyed it. It was so good and so beautiful. The music, the art, oh, the way it was all going, and then the ending is so sweet as well. It has a lot of good themes. I mean, besides your normal love story, there's also a really deep connection with him and his father, with coming to terms with his mother's death. There's a lot going on in the story that is just really beautiful, and I think executed really well. So Tatsuki Fujimoto, applauds all around. Again, he loves his dead parents and his love tropes. I mean, they're here. It's all in here in this episode. So it's really really good. Definitely really enjoyed it, and it has a bunch of cute mermaid girls. So there you go. That's fun as well. Next up, we got episode 6, Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome. I will say I was very curious to see about how this was going to go, especially with the political climate going on. Don't want to touch on that too much, but that's it's something something to keep in mind. Obviously, that's going around. This one's the shortest one, I think, 13 minutes only. So yeah, going into it, obviously the title "Woke Up as a Girl" syndrome. It follows this man who, or I say man, he's a high school student. It's a guy, and he wakes up one day as a girl, and apparently it's a real thing in this world where there's this syndrome where you literally wake up one day and you could just your genitalia is completely different. You are now just literally you're a girl. Your gender is completely swapped. Your whole you've been completely altered. You're a girl now. So pretty much he goes about this story, and he becomes a girl. And so it's very interesting to see what as it's very hard for me to, I guess, give my opinion on this topic as somebody who's never experienced this, but obviously it's a real thing, right? I mean, there's people all the time who now have these feelings of something that they're not, and I think even if you don't specifically relate to it in that way, there is still this feeling and sense of not belonging. There's a beautiful scene in here where obviously he shows up to school, he's a guy, and now he's a girl. And so everybody's like, what do we do with them, him, she? What do we do? And so she now like ends up starting to change with the girls. The girls are uncomfortable with it, but then she's also having this dilemma because she feels confused herself. I think it's a very nuanced um take and perspective that kind of gets shows both sides of it, if you will. I think that's the best way to say it. I really think you need to watch this on your own to come to your own conclusion. I don't want to say anything that would make you come to a certain conclusion or about it, because I think it's such a beautiful episode that shows both sides of the spectrum, literally and metaphorically. I think there's a lot to it. I mean, he didn't want this to happen to himself, but then he learns to accept it and loves it, and then there's also elements in there that show that this is who he's been all along. So I think, like I said, it shows both sides. It does such a good job of playing both sides of the whole, whatever your political beliefs are, showing both sides. And I think that's super important, and I think that's beautiful. And I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to get in trouble myself. So, but I don't want to I don't want to give any political opinions here. So yeah, I just think it's a really, really good episode. I think there's so many beautiful themes. I think that scene specifically where, like I said, there's a lot of moments. Again, there's a scene where he's like, I don't want to, what do I do? Like, do I go change with the guys? And they're like, no, you have to go change with the girls now. And then all the girls feel weirded out by him. But then now he goes and hangs out with his guy friends. And then his guy friends start hitting on him because he's a girl, and are like, whoa, you know how high school guys are. Those themes are shown there. And then you have the theme himself where this guy actually had a girlfriend, and now he's a girl. So he goes to his girlfriend and is like, what do I do? Like, I might have a crush on your brother, but he realizes that he still loves her. It's so beautiful. You need to go watch this for yourself. I'm sorry, I cannot. I'm digging myself into a hole here. Go watch it. Go make your own opinions about it. But I think it's such a good episode. I thought it was really good. It's probably my top three, top four, top three. Yeah, it might be top three. I don't know. I haven't ranked them yet. So maybe I'll do that at the end of this. And then next up, we have Nayuta of the Prophecy. Now, this one was really cool because, not to get into any spoilers for Chainsaw Man, but this is a character who gets introduced later on in Chainsaw Man. I guess that might be a spoiler. But what's really cool is that I've read the manga, I'm caught up. This has nothing to do with Chainsaw Man at all. This is completely separate. It would be like if Denji was put into a whole new show and had nothing to do with Chainsaw Man, except his name is Denji and he's the exact same character. That's all it is. So you can watch this without being spoiled for Chainsaw Man. No need to worry about all that. And it's basically about a brother and his younger sister who is supposedly this cursed child of prophecy. She's the devil child who's coming back and is basically going to wreak havoc and bring destruction to the earth. And it's this brother trying to come to terms with that and trying to protect his younger sister. And it's such a beautiful brother-sister story. It's so beautiful. The message, the animation is really good. The gore, the darkness and themes that are go on throughout this was really cool. It's a lot more mature than the other episodes in terms of horror. So as somebody who loves horror, that was really cool to see as well. It's one of the most unique episodes, I'll say. I mean, they're all unique, man. They're so good. And so yeah, it's really, really good. I really liked it. The ending theme is really sweet. Again, it's a brother sister story. about, coming to terms with who you are and finding that family connection, which I think is really good. I think the ending scene is really beautiful with them at the beach. I thought it was a really, really cool scene. Go watch it. It's hard to really explain this one in depth because it is sort of a basic story, but not at the same time. You got to go watch it, man. It's so hard to describe these. Go watch them all. Please go watch them. They're all really good. Also, the Rockets are playing right now, so I need to make sure my boys are doing good. But yeah, so regardless, last episode here, last one I'll talk about with you all is Sisters. Now, from what I have gathered from my very little minute research on this topic, I think Sisters was the original inspiration for Look Back. I think he wrote Sisters and then was like, "All right, I want to write Look Back now." I think there's a lot of similarities between them, and I'll get into it right now. So I think this is the one that actually led into Look Back, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 90% sure, 90% sure. So what this story is about, it's about these sisters. One of them, the older sister, Mitsuku. She loves art. She's a huge artist. She loves it, and she wants to draw. And she has a younger sister named Kyoko, who is obsessed with her older sister. She idolizes her so much. She wants to be her. She wants to do everything to be with her. And Mitsuku, pretty much Mitsuko, I don't know, Mitsuko. Mitsuko doesn't like that. She's, obviously you're the older child. You want to kind of get away from your sister. You want to, get away, do your own thing, and you hate having your little sister follow her. And she just says that. She says, we used to be super close, and then one day I just stopped talking to her. Like one day I got sick of it. It was cute at first, but then it just got old. And so pretty much the episode starts with Mitsuko walking into her art school that she attends. She loves art. She wants to be the best at it. And then she walks into class and she ends up seeing an image of herself on the each year they say is the best art drawing gets hung up as a mural in front of the whole school. And it turns out that this mural that is now going to be hanging in front of the school for the whole year is a naked picture of herself. And she's like, why is there a naked picture of myself? And it turns out that her younger sister is the one who drew it. And so pretty much the whole episode, Mitsuko is trying to get back at her sister, be like, why would you do this? What's crazy is that she drew this. And what's crazy is she drew the whole image of her naked from memory. It's all from here. It's all from her head, which is weird for her because, she hasn't talked to her sister at all, and she doesn't talk to her at all. And so Mitsuko is very upset because everybody's talking about her naked. And so she confronts her sister finally and is like, I'm going to get revenge on you by drawing you naked to, humiliate you because she is humiliated by it, or she sees it as a humiliation. And so whenever she's there in that moment, forcing her sister to pose naked so she can, draw her because she's having to draw her from person. She needs a visual reference, right? Her younger sister says, I drew you from memory just because like I love you. Like she looks up to her and she loves her. And it kind of toes the line of being a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But I see the message and yeah, I don't know. It's Tatsuki Fujimoto. He's weird, man. He's a weird guy. I don't know. I don't know. So but it's nice. It's sweet. It's his younger sister's like, I look up to you, like I want to be like you. I want to idolize you. I adore you. And then it turns out that the older sister is upset because and the reason that she's upset is because um she wants to be really good at art, and her younger sister only got good at art because she wanted to be with her older sister. And her younger sister becomes better at art than her, which, if you haven't seen Look Back, is very similar to the two main characters. And so yeah, it's this beautiful story about these two sisters trying to come together again after they're falling out, with one coming to terms and realizing that she should embrace her younger sister, loving her, and that she should see it as something that's really sweet and not something that she should be, annoyed with and be like, oh, you're only doing this because of me and you're better at it than me. And like that's just such unnecessary hatred. And I think it's such a good story. It's such a good, beautiful story, and I think it's very cool to see how Look Back ends up becoming molded into that. So Yeah, I think overall great stories. Like I said, there were 8 of them. If I had to rank them, I'd probably put Sasaki Stopped a Bullet number 1. Oh man, it might be Sisters or Woke Up as a Girl for number 2 and 3. That might be my top three. Chicken probably 4. Oh man, I feel bad putting Nayuta. No, I don't know. Nayuta probably 5. Mermaid 6. Shikaku 7, and Love Is Blind 8. I think that's a solid list off the top of the dome. I think that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This was off the top of my head. But yeah, anyways, I've ranted for too long. Guys, go check out these short stories for yourself. They're really good. I loved them. So much fun. I really hope that maybe we get a part 2 or something along the line. I think he's made more short stories. I don't know. But anyways, go check them out if you haven't. I think this was a really cool short story. It'll take you, like, you could binge it in a day or two. So go watch it. It was a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think, what your favorite one was, and get ready because Chainsaw Man, we might be getting some more news soon. Oh, what a steal. Oh, good job, Reed. Okay, sorry, I'm watching basketball. Love you guys. Peace. Arrivederci.